And with that, I want to jump right into one of the very first brand new tools that I want to showcase here on the channel. We're going to take a look at a few of them here, and they will be completely different depending on who they make the most sense for. That's exactly what sets AMZScout apart. On the one hand, it offers quite a lot of innovation. In the past 2 years alone, 3 new AI tools have been added to the suite. We're going to take a look at those in just a moment. On the other hand, the price is so attractive because in some cases, they're 50% cheaper than the competition. But let's take it one step at a time. I'd say let's take a look at what we actually get. And that starts when you're on the Amazon site using the Google Chrome browser with the Google Chrome extensions. There are actually 2 parts. Some tools you can access directly while browsing the Amazon site in the Google Chrome browser, and the rest of the tools are available in your user account on the AMZScout website. But let's start by seeing what we actually get on Amazon. And here I've entered a random search term, motorcycle phone mount. So I'll start with that and see what results I get. And as we can see, there are already a lot of boxes here. This here was added by AMZScout. I need to click the green button once to retrieve the data as well. And now the analyses appear, and I can already see on the search results page that the total monthly revenue is 700,000 with an average of 18,000 euros per product. That's already good to know, and I can also expand more statistics here. But we won't go into detail on that right now. Here, I really just want to give a first impression of AMZScout. I want to do the things I usually do. In the future, we might make more detailed videos, but today you'll see my first impression because I'm actually using it for the first time. And then here we have the monthly sales in units, average BSR, and other data that are summarized here. You also have buttons here where you can retrieve product data or view sales with just one click. If you don't know it, at least you'll know that you'll be using this app a lot, because here you get all the products from the Amazon search results page summarized in a table, indicating which category it is and things like how high the monthly revenue is for each product. That's obviously very interesting. And also the share of revenue for the entire niche on the first page. And of course, also the price, the fees, and the profit potential. And from here, we can even look at charts for the individual products, and you can see an incredible amount of information. That's why I would first deselect everything here and remove everything, and then take a look at them one by one. Okay, these are the sales figures here, and with them, you can see the units sold in the period since 2021 as a chart. And then when I open it, I see the sales rank as well. The lower, the better. Here we see a consistently low sales rank, which is very good. Then we see the price changes here showing who is experimenting back and forth. And here we can see that the seller fluctuates between 40 and 50 euros. That's also interesting to know. And the same goes for what do we see there? There we see the reviews, and the number of reviews should of course only ever increase because that's the only thing your buyers can do. Add reviews. But here a whole bunch have disappeared. Apparently there were some inconsistencies on Amazon's side, and here they deleted, I would say, almost 200 reviews. Also interesting, so you can see which competitors you're working with in this niche. But let's close this tool that shows us the sales for now and see what else we can find on the results page. And here we see a huge box with more information about the product, such as the ASIN. We can also copy it directly here and use it for other tools. The ASIN is the product's item number, and with it, for example, we can find out the search terms or do even more things, which will become especially exciting with AI in a moment. But let's take a look here at what we can see. On the search results page, I always see the title, the price, and the main image from Amazon anyway, but here we also get an additional overlay. And when I hover over it with the mouse with the cursor, we get a preview of the entire title, the product images, and the bullet points. Everything from the product page plus additional information like the ASIN again, price, and dimensions. So here we get a direct summary of the product without having to click on the product page. I also find that very interesting. And Geschichte, that probably means history. That also shows me the changes in its prices, and its BSR and Schlüsselwörter immediately summarizes for me what the most important search terms for the tool are. So that was a quick overview of the Chrome extension. I thought that was already very good. It has everything we need. It's practically a Swiss Army knife for us Amazon sellers. So there was already a lot included that we need every day just for product research. But now we come to the first AI feature, which we still find in the Google Chrome extension. We're still on the Amazon search results page. Here we see this purple icon, and when I click on it, it spins in a circle for a while because now it's actually researching information and summarizing it with AI. This isn't just a simple copy and paste into a new window. And with that, I get a direct summary of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and risks from the AI. Now it continues in English, as I warned earlier. Here it now says that the profits after deducting Amazon fees are quite high. That could very well be the case. Strong sales, of course, and there's also great competition in this niche. Rating of 4.6. An average rating of 4.6 means that customers are already very satisfied with the products. If you're looking for a niche where you can improve things a bit to beat the competition, I would rather look for a lower average rating. With 5,800 reviews, that's really a lot of ratings. And this is how you now get your first impressions summarized here. But now I'm even more interested in the AI product improvement point because that's where the tool automatically accesses the reviews. And with one click on this icon, we already get the first suggestions for what we can improve. These are still relatively superficial here because it's a very simple query. As we've seen, the reviews here are already quite good. You could probably use this better in a niche where the ratings are a bit lower and customers complain more. So let's try it out right away. But before that, we'll take a tour of the website. When you're on the AMZScout page, you'll see all the other tools displayed. This is what it looks like when you're logged in. And up here we have the menu, and we can already see the AI product extension here, meaning the Chrome extension. It's linked directly so you can install it. And it already works as soon as you're logged into your Amazon account. Buyer account, you don't need a seller account. A regular Amazon buyer account is all you need. Just make sure you're logged in and then the tool will already work. Then here you have the product database where you can get product ideas suggested to you on the website based on your criteria. We'll do that next after the tour because then we have the product tracker. There you can save product ideas and compare their data at any time. And then it continues with keywords and offers. So by keywords, we mean search terms. Keep in mind that the German is 99% accurate. And with that, we have everything here that you would expect as a seller. Namely, a tool where you enter the Amazon item number and it gives you the corresponding search terms. I'll take a look at that in a moment, a tool that does the opposite. There, you enter a search term that you know is very popular and see what other terms are also being searched for by the same customers. Then you have the Amazon keyword tracker, where you keep track of your product's search terms and see what ranking you have. And by the way, you always see the notes here. Updated, updated, new. So they make a lot of updates here and add new tools. That's what I want to see as well, that it's a team that rapidly develops their software. And with that, we come to the next AI tool, which you can use to create your product page, your product text with AI. And it works very simply. We'll try that out in a moment as well. And here we also have the AI review analysis tool. I found that really, really impressive. That impressed me the most, and that's why we'll start with the product search database. It works relatively simply. I've opened it here and already have a few results. But don't let that bother you, because first I'll select the categories I want to search in. I recommend that you only enter one category at a time and then add the other criteria. I've now selected a few that are always pretty solid. And then you can enter search terms here that should be included in the titles. That way, you can already do some great pre-filtering if you already have a niche in mind. You can set the price. Here, I've set it between 40 and 150 euros. Then you can click on more filters here and set even more criteria. Maximum number of reviews, 800, what weight, which storage type, FBA at Amazon, maximum number of sellers, 3, so we don't have any resellers, estimated revenue. Instead of setting your own criteria, there are also pre-saved filters available for you. If you click right here, you can have ideal suggestions conveniently pulled up for private label or for online arbitrage if you are more into reselling. Or right here, you can see the top 1,000 best-selling products in each category. Pancakes in about, so you can really check what's selling hot right now or filter for products that have very low acquisition costs if you want to start with as little budget as possible. So here again are a few features for a quick start. Then you click on Find Products. And it will show you products that fall into your category, like this ladder here, for example. So now I've set the maximum weight to 9 kilos. If you have smaller, lighter products, you would filter accordingly. And then it's exactly as you expect. You get your results here piece by piece, like this bike holder, for example. And with one click on the preview image, you can see it in full size right away. You already get the first data here. And of course, what interests us, how much revenue does the item generate? 11,000 euros per month. The selling price is also relatively high at 67 euros. Average rating is 4.3. So it could be interesting to find out why that is. Why aren't all the customers satisfied? The weight at 22 kilos is a bit high. You can filter that. And now you go through until you see something that interests you. And then you simply open it in the browser with a click here. And that's what we're going to do now. Let's take a look at one of the ladders I was suggested. So at 79 euros, it's definitely a bit on the pricey side. The first thing I'm always interested in is the pictures. What are the pictures like? The main image is pretty simple and in line with the terms and conditions. The next image, I see text in English, measurements in inches. That's obviously not good. We don't want that here. We don't need that in Europe. So still text in English. I'd say the pictures aren't bad because they do show a bit, but I'd say they're maybe a 5 out of 10 at best, and we could easily beat that. I also click away the green button here, and then I can see the monthly revenue right away. AMZScout estimates that this ladder makes 24,600 euros a month. Would you have thought that? And could that already make it interesting? So next, we also want to take a look at the category here. And I see that in this niche, 1.3 million euros in revenue is being made. So this would probably be a niche for a very large seller who can also start out big. This isn't a beginner's niche with such huge revenues, but it's very interesting. Here too, all the main images are pretty simple. I already like the first product idea, so I'd say let's jump right to the next find and see what we've discovered there. Now I want to work more with the tool rather than refining the product ideas all the way to the end. I want to see how it works to sell, and the next product idea was olive wood for dogs 2-pack. So I already think this is really cool because it's a product I didn't know about before. I always like it when I find products that sell well and I didn't even know they existed, because then others probably don't have them on their radar either, if it's not something obvious. And this one has sales of 2,300 euros, so a bit less revenue. That's why we'll also take a look at the niche. By the way, I had already found this earlier when I still had other filters set in the product search database. And here we can also see the images. So on the label's main image, you can't see anything at all. You could just skip that. And here, okay, information in German, but the text is very small. On a phone, this would be barely readable, even though I'm looking at it large on my computer right now. I would say the images are actually even worse than the ones for the ladders just now. That's already a very good starting point. By the way, here we have an Alibaba button right away. With this button, we can immediately continue searching on Alibaba. I also find that interesting, but now I'm going to take a look at the whole niche and see how big the niche is. Maybe other sets are even more interesting. I can already see on the homepage that a total revenue of 250,000 euros is listed. So that's already very impressive. Here I've also loaded a ton of information again, and with that I'll open the Google Chrome app from AMZScout right here to check out the revenues. Let's see what we've got here. Here too, I like to click on Hide Sponsored to really only see the actual results and not have any ads included. So 3,800, 2,500 euros, 10,000 euros, 1,000 euros. So the revenues here are getting too small for me to continue. 10,000 euros is already interesting, but the others are more in the lower 4-digit range. But since this is a product I didn't know about until just now, I would normally also be interested in the search terms here. And that's why I'm going to research exactly that now using the keyword tool from AMZScout, and it looks like this. Up here, I first copy in a few product numbers, namely this one and 3 more, as you can see. You can click the Add button here, and now we've entered 3 product numbers and specify that we only want to see search terms that are 2 to 5 words long. I can also set it to 1 word so that nothing is missing there either. After all, we like to combine a lot of words in German. And then I have a very long list of results here, and again, filters. Filters like most effective, which already gives me an estimate of what the most effective ones are. For example, chew wood for dogs, bones, dog, okay. Olive wood, dog chew articles. Yes, of course, all of this is super relevant for these sticks. We don't just need olive wood, we need plenty of other variants that our customers use, like olive wood for dogs. Apparently the whole thing is also available in English. Chew stick, dog olive wood. These are really very relevant, and with that, it has already highlighted the right ones for us. Now we have further options, like most search queries or by lowest CPC. That means which are the cheapest clicks. So even if I run ads, I can use the tool specifically to research the search terms. As I said, this is actually the first time I'm using AMZScout at all. I just set it up. These are really my first insights now. I can't tell you the finest differences at a high level yet, but I can tell you that the most popular tools you expect are included. That's why, especially for starters and up to medium-sized sellers, it's probably exactly what you want. And with that, let's quickly take a look at this suggestion here, which we also received, namely this double bike stand. It generates 11,900 euros in sales per month. I think it's an interesting product. It has an average rating of 4.3. That's already interesting. So there's still room for improvement. That's what we want to check out with the AI tool now. There are 82 reviews. This is what the niche looks like. I also find this interesting because, look, we have our double stand here and otherwise there's nothing like it. That means we really have a product here that sells well on Amazon, but it's rare. These are exactly the kinds of things we want to find during product research. So I thought the quality of the suggestions was good. And what we're going to do now is copy the product number from the product page that AMZScout shows us and paste it into the AI tool that analyzes the reviews for us. And it looks like this, and I have to say, when I was shown this myself, I found it really impressive. A tool. I didn't really know the company, but in a short time they've developed a lot. And that brings us to the analysis that the AMZScout AI has generated for us from the customer reviews. And it starts off strong with suggestions for what could be improved. And the first thing is sealing the top bars to prevent water damage when used outdoors. So this bike rack is open at the top, water gets in, and it can rust. That's what the customers are saying. And with 50%, that would already be the biggest improvement to make it suitable for everyday outdoor use. Very, very good. Reinforcement of the construction, better durability, fewer defects. So you have to read carefully again to see what the issue is. Apparently it's a bit too wobbly. Reduction of plastic film waste, so it's really packaged too thickly. So you need to find packaging that is secure but smarter. And the aesthetic design here only has a 5% chance. So that's what customers care about the least. The biggest learning from the AI is the stability, so it holds two bikes. But 30% complain that it's fiddly to hang up. Precise measuring is necessary, so maybe you need to add better markings when mounting it or something similar. 40% like that, it saves space. Of course, it's important for your product images to highlight what customers love about it and to address in advance what customers criticize. And that's why we have the pros here again, now also with bar charts, and the cons as well, all with bar charts and weighting. So I think this is really, really well done here. Reasons why customers buy it. Space saving, stability, easy assembly, practical use. What customers like most are the adjustable feet. Of course, it's important that your product has the same features. Compact design, practical basket. So imagine this bike stand is what you want to sell. How much have you just learned in a few seconds just by copying an article number into another tool? I found the analysis really very useful, and now we also know where to look in the reviews for more details. But you can also export all the reviews as a table and then have ChatGPT answer your specific questions about them. That's also a very good feature. And with that, we come to the last point I want to show you on the product page. And for that, I'll open the app again that shows us the sales, because underneath that we have more tools. We can monitor the product because we want to save the idea for later. Here we have a profit calculator, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Here too, you can open the charts again, run an AI product analysis and query keywords. I think it's important to take a look at the profit calculator. And this is what it looks like. It automatically pulls in the price, size and weight and calculates the fees you'll incur when selling on Amazon. 80 cents per month for storage. For €8.83, Amazon packages and ships the item. And for selling through Amazon, a sales commission of €10.50 is charged. And then here you have the profit minus Amazon fees, as well as the estimated monthly profit if this were your product page with your sales. But here you can also enter other costs. For example, the product costs you determined on Alibaba. And with that, we come to the last AI tool, the one we can use to create the product pages. Then I click on Create, and here I can select Add Keywords and then enter them manually. I've already saved a few as a test, specifically from that dog chew stick we saw earlier. And they've now been loaded in, but we can get even more specific here than just entering a few search terms. We can enter our brand name here, we can list the product's benefits and reasons why the buyer would want to purchase it at all. Here are my loaded keywords now. But I can also split them up into those that should be as high up as possible, those that go in the middle and the general ones. These are the ones I've loaded in now. You can see there are actually very few: olive wood for dogs, wooden bone as a dog toy, and so on. And even after that, we have more settings, for example, that no emojis or symbols should be in the title, and so on. You can then fine-tune all of that according to your preferences. Then I can simply click on green, create the listing, and now the AI gets to work. And ideally, of course, I would have filled in all the fields with all the information I've already researched about my product. For my actual product, of course, I would now fill in everything as much as possible. But even with the few bullet points we provided, we've already gotten something, namely a title, brand name, which I entered right at the front, olive wood for dogs, chew wood, 2 pieces, set of 2, bone. So you can also edit this manually again if you want. And here it suggests not to exceed 150 characters. That's also very important. If you go beyond the allowed limits, the keywords simply won't count anymore in the Amazon search. That's a disadvantage, but above all, the customer wants titles that are as short and concise as possible, not stuffed with keywords. Now come the 5 bullet points that you see in every listing, satisfies the natural chewing instinct, and strengthens teeth and gums. So, a nice sentence, removes bad breath, and promotes dental health. I didn't write it like that. You would have formed these sentences now. With more keywords, the bullet points could certainly be even longer. You really have to consider, what are the real benefits? Why does my customer choose it, and why should they buy mine specifically? And we see we have 500 characters here. I would definitely keep it shorter here as well. And then we get the description text, for which we have more space. And we also get specific search terms suggested again, backend search terms that we can enter in Seller Central in our seller account, which the customer does not see on the Amazon page. And then we can save that. And I can also click on AI autofill here, and then the AI will start again specifically for the bullet point and revise the whole thing. So it's definitely a useful tool if you're creating your product description for the first time and have researched a bunch of search terms that you now want to turn into readable text for your customers.